Welcome to the MLB Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by PlayPicks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guys, Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. We got Mo Noir in the Midwest there. And we are looking at a pretty good, fun MLB slate here on Tuesday night. We are taking a look at these nighttime games, as always here. Some early evening-ish starts as well in this slate here, but plenty to choose from. We'll get into some of these best bets, a few player props as well. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Check out each of these videos that we'll be bringing you each and every weekday of this MLB season. And also head to thelines.com. Make sure you're checking out all of the odds that we have available up there for you guys. Getting the best juice available from all of those odds makers. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or a DraftKings account, head to ftpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight's slate. Nate, let's jump into it.
Yeah, at least 12 games to look at here in the night slate. There's going to be more, but we got some games still in progress as we record. The Angels and Astros being one of them there. But we got day games. The Giants and Mets have an interesting one that was pushed back from Monday. Alex Cobb and Tyler McGill. That'll be a good one to watch. But then we get into the night games. We got Shane Bieber and the Guardians minus 135 as they host Keuchel and the White Sox. That's interesting odds on Bieber, who's clearly the better pitcher, but facing a much better offense on that side. Wainwright and the Cardinals minus 118 at Miami, who was throwing Jesus Luzardo. Total is 8.5 runs there. Yankees are big favorites, minus 200 at the Tigers with Garrett Cole going. Blue Jays, slight underdogs with Kikuchi going at Fenway against Eovaldi. JT Brubaker and the Pirates, big dogs against Corbin Burns and the Brewers. The Rays and the Cubs in another toss-up after a close game on Monday. Then there are those Angels that there is a lineup already. Yep, plus 130 with Sandoval going against Framber Valdez. Chris Archer and the Twins in a toss-up with the Royals. Then the Phils, minus 130 at Coors Field. Robbie Ray and the Mariners are minus 150 despite his shaky outing last time out at home there against the Rangers. Reds plus 150 at Joe Musgrove and the Padres. And finally, the Braves are plus 135 as they take on Walker Buehler and the Dodgers. Yeah, a lot of options to choose from, but I think the game we both lean towards, me and Mo, is this Cardinals-Marlins game, mainly because there's been some pretty stark. I mean, you got two good pitchers in terms, at opposite ends of their careers, but there's some pretty stark numbers for Wainwright in terms of showing how unlucky he's been through these first couple starts. I mean, how do you have a 429 batting average balls in play and a 2.6 Sierra, which is supposed to account for how hard those balls are hit and where they go and whether they're grounders, which is what Wainwright wants. And somehow they found their way through the Cardinals infield in the tiny sample of 2 starts. So, he's posting a 11.3 K per 9 ratio, getting guys to swing outside the zone. The question with Wainwright is always, can he get batters to chase? And Miami right now is a 30% swing rate outside the zone. That's 10th highest. They also have the second highest ground ball to fly ball rate when facing righties. Their offense has been suddenly come alive now, hitting 290 at home. And the Cardinals offense is suddenly elite against lefties. But, you look at a much larger sample size of last season, and the Cardinals were not good against lefties. The Marlins were not good against anyone consistently. I don't think we're going to see a lot of offense in this one. 8.5 runs is a little high for two pitchers that you kind of trust. Look, Luzardo's throwing 98, getting nearly a 20% swinging strike rate in that Cardinals offense. While they have posted some good power numbers against lefties, I don't think he's giving up bombs in this big park. And their batting average leaves a little more to be desired. Also a pretty decent high K rate at nearly 24%. So I like the under and lean a little bit towards the Cardinals with the veteran on the mound, but I think the under is the better bet here.
Yeah, I'm also a fan of the under. Jesus Luzardo Yeah, spectacular debut. Maybe he's becoming the pitcher he was supposed to be as a prospect. Like you said, he's throwing 98, which is up like 3 miles per hour from his career number. Just a disgusting swinging strike rate in that debut. You just have to be excited about this guy right now. And it's not like he's never been a good pitcher. It's not like he was bad his whole career. He was just bad last year. He was about average before that as a really, really young pitcher. So I think plenty of reason to believe last year was kind of like a fluke, and maybe he had some mechanical issues, and he's over that, hopefully. If he is, then yeah, I think that the Cards should be a solid offense against lefties. I think there's probably some signal there. They do lean pretty heavily toward the right side of the dish. But if Luzardo's really this good and Wainwright just keeps doing the same thing he always does, which looks like he's doing again, just throwing league average innings in front of a great defense, that's going to make his ERA better than that. And yeah, I still don't love this Marlins offense, although I was kind of excited about them in the preseason. That was mostly due to their pitching. And the Cards, I think, just have a solid offense. So yeah, I think especially if you can get 8.5, this total looks too high to me in that pitcher's park too. Such a good spot for these pitchers to be throwing in Miami. I was surprised that the line was even at 8, to be honest. So if you can get 8.5, I think that's really good.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting to hear, you guys say that when you've got basically a top 5 offense in the Cards so far this season. I mean, Nolan Arenado shot out of a cannon as well. So I don't know. I agree. Luzardo's last year, I think, was a bit more of a fluke than the season before, where he looked a lot better in that earlier season. But yeah, I would still say I think he's got a bit to prove before I feel comfortable just going ahead and hitting an under at 8.5. When the Cards are averaging over 5 runs a game. I still think Wainwright can keep the fish to under 3 runs for sure in the likely, almost guaranteed 5 and likely 6 that he'll pitch tomorrow. But yeah, I think either way, you like the Cards to win this one with Wainwright on the mound and go from there as far as the total. But moving on to another game here where we've got an NL East squad. We keep coming back to the well here for those Bravos. As we mentioned while we're recording this, Mo was happy to see they recently got out of a jam against those Doyers. But they are going again for game 2. So what are you looking at in this next one here, Mo?
Well, unfortunately, now the Braves just didn't score after a leadoff double, I think it was. So things could be going a little better there. I'm looking at the Braves again, though. Plus 145 at DraftKings. I wasn't able to line shop it yet, so I honestly think you could probably find better. Just really excited about the start that Max Fried has had, to be honest. Just looks like he's pitching great so far, really carrying over how well he pitched in the postseason last year, and even maybe a little better, up to 95 so far this year. 2.01 FIP, 3.19 Sierra. Obviously, small sample, but he looks good. Exit velocity, nobody's squaring him up so far. Less than 85 miles per hour, that'd be like league leading number, most likely. And just more swinging strikes than he's ever had. Only bad number is his ERA. So just looks to be bad luck to me. Just got BABIP to death in the last game, bunch of singles. ERA should come down. He keeps throwing like this. He could have one hell of a year and really be the ace that I kind of think the Braves have lacked. Charlie Morton, Ian Anderson. These guys are more like number 2s. They're good pitchers, but Fried is looking like a potential ace right now. And I think it's a little better to be throwing a lefty against the Dodgers, generally speaking. Lean a little bit more to the left side of the dish than most teams, I think. And Walker Buehler, good pitcher, very good pitcher, but I think he looks a little rough so far this year. Still looks like he's kind of working himself into his kind of midseason form, to be honest. The command just doesn't look like it's there so far, walking a lot of guys, not getting a lot of called strikes. And that's kind of what he needs because he's been out pitching his peripherals for a multi-year sample now. I think you have to know that that's not all luck with him. Like, he definitely has a true talent to outpitch his peripherals. But I think when his command is off, I'd be pretty worried about that continuing and wouldn't expect it to continue. I'm not like worried about him long term, but I think right now might be a good time to fade him, and definitely a good time to back Fried, who is much, much better so far than his ERA. So I think Braves around plus 150, pretty good value. I think the Dodgers should be more like minus 130 here.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right on that. You want lefties against the Dodgers based on how they performed thus far coming into tonight, hitting 192 with the 5th highest ground ball rate and one of the lowest hard contact rates against lefties. I do think Walker Buehler will be just fine, though. I mean, maybe he's easing himself in the first couple starts, but I mean, premier matchup here. I would be looking at unders for the first 5 innings with those two guys going head to head. Even the alternate unders there to say that only 2 or 3 runs will be scored in the first 5 innings. As we saw, as we're just seeing right now, these pitchers, these teams can get out of jams because it is such a high stakes situation when they're going against each other, even early in the season. It's kind of it could be another potential NLCS preview, and I think they won't give it up early in this matchup. One last game I'll look at, just kind of interested to keep watching Chris Archer, see how he performs. They yanked him after only 4 innings in that start against Kershaw, who then went 7 perfect innings. His slider, his fastball looking pretty good, limiting hard hit rate, but I don't think the Twins are really ready to unleash him yet. And I don't think I'm really ready to unleash a bet on that middle relief and bullpen if Archer's only going to go 4 or 5 innings. But also got to watch this guy, Carlos Hernandez, who just seems completely erratic in terms of he's going to go out there and throw hard. And sometimes he's going to make a mistake over the fat part of the plate. And the Twins are a boom bust offense that's, highest in K rate, 9th in home run rate right now. So, I mean, maybe you want to look at some props to get their homers in there because Hernandez, he doesn't really seem like he has the veteran acumen to nibble enough when or to know how to play that game and not give up those fat barrels.
Yeah, I think that's a super interesting idea, actually. Just looking at both of these two pitchers. Just if you wanted to fire a homer prop, I think this would be the game to do it for sure. Just 2 pitchers who just don't have any real command. Like, they throw hard, but it's like you said, I mean, just leaking a lot of pitches over the middle and just getting their stuff hammered. I mean, dude, Chris Archer, I saw his I'll have to check it real quick, but his exit velocities allowed so far were off the charts high. It's 93 miles per hour or something. So, 95 actually, and it was 92 last year.
I think he only had a 9% soft contact rate in that first start. Yeah,
and it's always been a problem for him. He's always been a guy who just misses a ton of bats with his slider, but because he doesn't have a third pitch, he leaks a lot of heaters over the middle. And Carlos Hernandez is kind of in the same boat. It's just 2 guys who do have the potential to actually get hit really hard, I think.
And probably will. If you believe in that, I think that you're still waiting for the Twins to show any form of consistency as well, to be honest. And I don't know, inconsistent offenses versus inconsistent pitching. But I think that usually, I would say in this park, it does lead to a bit more runs and a bit more hard hit balls that you can depend on. So I would follow you guys with that one as well. And that is all the time we have for you guys as we look at this pretty fun slate that we were able to go through on Tuesday night. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue along with us all MLB season as we continue to bring you one of these videos each and every weekday. And until we see you next, happy betting.